Obviously, you can use that for Instagram as well, or if you're using LinkedIn. We're going to be discussing Facebook, or Instagram is owned by Facebook and it's called Meta now. So that's what we're going to talk about. I always say you must be strategic. It's not just about being on Facebook. Those days are over. So my thing, you always have to be strategic when it comes to posting. Your organic post has to be strategic. When it comes to advertising, you need to be strategic. Everything you do, there has to be a strategy behind it. Because the tactical part of it, which is doing the work, doing the things, they're easy. If you don't know the goal, then you don't know if you achieved your goals. If you have no purpose, there's no direction. So strategy is very important, and that's what this webinar is about. All right, so what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about the backbone of organic strategy. Actually, let's go back to you, Rhonda. Do you know what I mean by organic strategy? I don't want to just keep going when we don't know. So what I mean by organic strategy is the post that you do. It doesn't necessarily mean advertising. It's not necessarily lead gen. So what we're talking about, the normal post you do. Does that make sense? Just want to make sure. Yes, no, okay. So just a thumbs up in the chat if I am making sense. What I mean by organic. I don't mean paid. So you don't necessarily pay. You're obviously paying time to create those posts. But that's what I mean by organic strategy. This is specifically about the organic. Perfect. Great. Thanks, Lo. Okay. Am I saying your name right? Lo or no? My apologies if I'm saying it wrong. I'm going to be disrespectful. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm going to go through the backbone of organic strategy. I'm going to talk about increasing your reach on Facebook with engaging content, because this is very important. Oh, last name is not. Okay, sorry. Okay, so organic strategy. Virginia. Oh, that's a beautiful name, Virginia. You have some echoing on the side, and I'm having trouble hearing you. All right. What about yourself, Virginia? Am I echoing? I might actually play a bit before we continue. So I'm just gonna disconnect and connect again. All right, let's begin. Okay, how about now? Is that better? Is the echo better or no, or what we got? Okay, perfect. I don't know what it does. Sometimes it doesn't select. All right, just making sure. I don't know why that. There. Let's just try one more time. Then we're going to talk about measuring success of your content. So it's very important. You must measure what's happening. Without measurement, you don't know. We're going to talk about groups, that you can use Facebook groups as part of your organic strategy, and we're going to talk about measuring the success of your group. A quick thing about me, please get social, connect with me on LinkedIn. I built and sold my 2 service businesses of my own, and I currently own a digital marketing agency that we specialize on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn content creation and marketing. So I'm obviously a digital solution advisor at Business Station, which I'm very, very excited and honored to be sitting in front of you and running these workshops for small business owners. So, and I'm a coffee lover too. So if you're going to catch up, definitely coffee with gin and soda. Depends if I'm doing it on Thursday or Friday. All right, so let's talk about the backbone of organic strategy. So when it comes to encouraging people to engage with your business on Facebook, there are three primary tools you can use. It's your Facebook business page, it's Facebook group, and ads. Obviously, today we're not going to be talking about ads, we're only going to be talking about pages and group. So what are business pages? For a long time, pages are the reason businesses join Facebook. Even though, like, the algorithm changes have made the reach potential of your business page less powerful than it was since 2018. Actually, the changes happened 2018. It is still a core component of your organic strategy, and obviously for several reasons. I have to tell you, people expect businesses, you can call it brainwash, but they expect businesses to have a business page. When it comes to Facebook, if someone asks us that, if someone asks us that if you are on Facebook, what they mean is they mean, do you have a page on Facebook? We don't necessarily, for some reason, we assume everyone's on Facebook. Compare that to LinkedIn. I know it's different. Compare that to LinkedIn. When people ask you on LinkedIn or you give them a business page, business card, they don't necessarily care about the business pages on LinkedIn. They check us out. Distorted, high and low. Oh, okay. All right, let me see. It was going really well with my last workshop. I don't know what's happening. How about now? Is it better or not? Still nothing. I'll keep talking, sure. So the business definitely don't have a problem with keep talking. So what I was suggesting, would you mind putting it in the chat section rather than Q&A, because it's just moves things around. But do you hear me now? Is it better now? Or I can, let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to try this out. This is probably going to echo better. I don't know why this is happening, because just half an hour before this, I had another workshop and it worked really well. What about now? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, that seems to be better. Thank you.
I don't know what's going on. All right, good. Perfect. Perfect. Good. Thanks, Linda. Okay, let's begin. Let's go back. Where was I? Okay, so the pages. We talked about pages, and people expect us to have a business page on Facebook. I always say we're brainwashed because we spend a lot of time on Facebook. We're brainwashed, and we expect businesses to have a business to have a Facebook page. And there are three reasons what I would 100% suggest for you to be there. Your page shows up in search engines. So if anybody looking for your business and search your business, your page definitely comes up when they search you on Google. Obviously, Facebook is using the search section as well, but you will come up, and that's another. There's actually another free opportunity for us to be found. The next one, people, like I said, expect you to have a Facebook page. We like it or not, at the end of the day, we're here to serve our audiences. We need to be customer facing. And if they are hanging out on that platform, we must be there, because what we do is we just need to generate revenue and sale and make a difference in our customers' life. Another one is, I call these another digital footprint for your business. Regardless of what, if you have a website, hopefully you have a website, you somehow pay for hosting, or there's something in the background gets paid. Facebook gives you that opportunity for free. So you can use this. You always have to have a website because Facebook owns this. We need to take advantage of it and use this as a traffic source for our business. But it's a great source of information. People can learn about you. They can learn about your products and services. They can learn about your business, what do you stand for. It's not a pitching platform, but it's a source of information for them. They either find out about your business or they are thinking about using your products or services. These three reasons, it's actually a great, it's very important for you to be active and have a presence on Facebook. And hopefully you're here and you do have that. The next one is your Facebook group. So Facebook group is a place for building deeper connection, and it's obviously a two-way communication between your prospect, your client, and your business. So you've got to remember there is a difference between a Facebook page. They don't replace each other. If you believe that they replace each other, they don't. Both of them play a big role in the success of your business. Facebook group, obviously, it's a two-way connection. It's a private. You get to know your audiences, prospect, your client in a deeper level. So 400 million people belong to a Facebook group. Out of that, 2.5, nearly 3 billion users. With that alone, it's vital for you to consider this. I'm not saying it is for everybody, because obviously you need to put resources into it, but it's something to consider because it's very highly interactive and collaborative. It gives your brand, it gives your business a chance to engage with your audience in a more meaningful and authentic way. And people tend to be more open when they are in a private group and they do have a conversation with the business. So how groups can help your business. They can help build a community, which is so important. It helps foster the community. And we know as humans, we like to be part of something. And that works obviously ethically. When I say that, whatever I talk about, whatever training I do, and even in my own marketing when I do, what I always say, you have to ask for permission and we need to be ethically marketing. This is given and it has to be considered. So you can actually use group to delight your audiences. Give them, go beyond, above and beyond for them so they see who you are. This delights your audiences. I have a couple of clients that we use the group for their paying client. It's the specific group that they use it depending on the services they have. It doesn't necessarily can be just for the top of the funnel stuff to build a brand awareness for them then to use those audience to become a paying client. You can absolutely use group for your own paying client. And it works really well because it's much cheaper to get your audience, get your current clients to buy again or refer again than to bring in a cold lead or brand new customers in. So they both work, but you got to consider both opportunity that these groups will present. And it plays into the algorithm. This is so good. Since 2018, when there was some changes to a messenger group, Facebook group, not messenger. Does that make sense, Virginia? I'm actually talking about the Facebook group, not the communication. That's the different thing. But Facebook group is, I'm talking about Facebook group as another platform to use. So they play into the algorithm. So Facebook specifically, actually in January, they came and said they're doing a lot of investment in the Facebook group. If you look at your phone, if you're using it through phone or even on your desktop, there is a specific icon for the group because people want to get involved with it. And a lot of people spend a lot of time in a Facebook group, provided it requires time and energy to build it, provided you're providing value. However, groups, if you do any posts and they're engaging, your audiences and people part of that group will get a notification. This is really good. And they chose to be part of your group. And that helps. Also, when there's a lot of interaction, when someone looking for a specific group to be part of and you serve those audience and the keywords and the keyword phrases that they use to search, your group will come up because you teach algorithm, there's an interaction, there is an engagement with the audience in the group. It definitely plays into the algorithm. And it's another great opportunity for you to use from an organic point of view. So I want you to remind you that you've got to keep in mind that groups are not for every business. It requires time and it requires resources in order for you to build your group. When you're starting the group, I can guarantee you for the first 3 months, if you have no strategy or if you have no strategy and you create a group and you hope it's going to build up, it's just not going to happen. You have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan, how much you're going to post. We're going to go through what to do to build an engagement. It requires resource. So I always say when you are taking on something, think about how much time I can put into it. Can I outsource? Can I get one of my team members? If you have a team to do this, can I afford to actually employ a community manager or outsource a community manager to look after my community? How am I going? And then how are you going to actually increase the numbers? There's a strategy behind everything that you do. It is very important. It's such a great place for you to do, but consider it. Consider putting resources and time that you require. It could be, when I say resources, it could be money and time and people in there as well. So it doesn't grow by itself. It requires a lot of time. If you see groups that are really they're growing and they're busy and they have so many people, I guarantee you we've built so many groups. It takes a long time, lots of effort. But when I say that, I'm not trying to scare you. It's actually a great platform. It's a very good platform, and you build a very private, in-depth connection. It's really good when it's built, and it's a great source of income for the businesses. So how do they differ from the page? Obviously, they do have a building analytics, but the groups works, the analytics are a bit different. You can set your Facebook group as private, which I 100% recommend for you to set it as private. Because people feel more close to you and they share, and we're all the same anyway. You can post documents. This is very important to post documents in there. You can't do that on Facebook page, but if you're doing any training, any material, anything that is going to, again, we're going back to delighting, they've got above and beyond for providing documents. There are certain groups that you can use for selling buying and selling, which you're probably part of it, and there are some groups out there. The thing I love about it is members can chat with each other. You can't do that on Facebook page, but if you build this amazing group, the moment they start interacting with each other and helping each other, which I call them the advocates, star members, so it's really good because they can connect with each other. Obviously, they can receive a notification on top of every other notification. They can receive a notification on the platform, which is really good. Because when it comes to the pages, just quickly, when it comes to the pages, less than 1% of people who ever liked your page ever come back to your page. Less than 1%. And less than 2% of people who actually chose to follow your page will ever see your post again. The reason being, this all depends how often you're posting, are you boosting, are you investing any money in there? So you got to remember that the engagement is really low. Obviously, it's a pay to play. Facebook didn't become $1 trillion business by providing a free platform to its users. It is great. I deal with, I help a lot of small businesses and businesses, well, lots of small and medium businesses with Facebook marketing and advertising since 2018. And it's getting better and better. It's a great platform to reach your audience. But it does require resource, I guess. It works really well. The moment the wheels start turning, it will work. It's like a roller coaster. You build it up, and then when it moves really well. So Facebook groups will never, ever replace the Facebook page. I get a lot of people who say, no, I've only got a group. I don't want to have a page. My recommendation, if Facebook providing a Facebook page and Facebook group, they obviously have a plan, and how it works is very different. You must have a Facebook page because their functionality is very different. Okay, so now let's talk increasing your reach with engaging content. So let's go back. Organic reach. Today, I think this is what I said. Today, only 1% of users who like your Facebook page will revisit it again. That's just how it is. Because when people like your page, they have an opportunity to like and follow. However, most people don't do that. When we start again, especially this, someone asks us to like a page and we just like it to just be good and not hurt anyone. So they don't ever come back. So that alone, combine that, like I said, combine that with less than 2% of people who follow your page, who ever see your post, you probably think, why am I even bothering with this? Why should I even post on Facebook page? I've got to tell you, still, it is a very, very important platform for you to consider. People hang out on this platform way more than anybody likes to admit. So what it is you can still absolutely 100% you can still reach your audience, and that key to success of your organic marketing is engaging content. You need to be very savvy and agile and think a little differently about your strategies than before. We can't just share someone else's content. We can't just put a link there hoping that they're going to go anyway. And this year in January, Zuckerberg actually clearly said, if you are going to, because they don't want people to leave their platform. You got to remember the point, if you understand, they want to keep people on their platform. If you're going to put a link on there for them to go, Zuckerberg in January said, if you're just putting a link and hoping that it's going to get a reach, you're going to hardly get any reach. Use organic to Facebook platform, meaning if you're doing video, if you've got a YouTube channel, upload that video on Facebook. If you're writing something, use that blog post, create a different post, and just leave it on Facebook. Let them to send you a message. Let them to do anything. What I'm talking about, I'm not talking about advertising. So because the link with the advertising works perfectly fine. I'm talking about organic. So you've got to use, you have to have a strategy specifically for Facebook, obviously strategy specifically for Instagram. So you just have to remember, they don't want you to leave their platform. So if you're doing anything, make sure it's organic to the platform. Hopefully that makes sense. So how do you increase your organic reach? Publish content frequently. It's posting once or twice a month. It's not enough. So when Facebook actually said, when back in, so Facebook said, usually when anybody comes in, no, I'm not saying that. They're both the same. As long as they stay in the platform, that's what I'm saying. So if you're doing videos, pre-recorded videos, and they sit on, and you upload it in your YouTube, use the same video and upload it on Facebook. But lives are perfectly fine, they stay. So they have to stay in the platform. What they want is they don't want people clicking a link, leaving their platform and never come back. So no, that's not what I'm saying. IG, both are exactly the same and both are important as long as they stay in there. Am I making sense, Linda? Yeah. Okay. All right, so it's very important for us to make sure that we're posting frequently. So this is what Facebook said. Every time you and I log into Facebook, based on the signals we're giving Facebook, depending on how long we're using Facebook for, Facebook algorithm curates around 1,500 possible content that we might be interested to know or see on the platform. That could include your friends, your family's posts, the pages you like, the groups are part of. So if you only are posting once or twice a week, or even once or twice a month in some cases, it's not enough. You must keep posting, and you must use every part of that platform. Facebook recently added Reels as well. So it's very important for you to use every possible tools they're giving you and create posts, stories, like Linda said, live videos definitely works. And so it's not about how many, it's about publishing quality content. We can't just, again, randomly publish something and hope for the best. Quality means you are thinking about your audience, what this post is supposed to do. Is this going to be inspirational? Is this going to be educational? Is this going to be funny? Does that resonate with your audience? So I want you to spend more time crafting a better Facebook post and less time creating a lot of Facebook posts. Even though I do say you need to post things frequently, I don't want to be a random post. And there's some of the reason, and I've seen a lot of businesses struggle with posting random posts, is because we are very reactive. We get busy, we don't allocate time to do the post. Comes Monday, we go, oh, Neda said I have to post this many times, I don't know what to do, and just scramble and just put something out there. We don't want that. I prefer for you to spend time and create quality content than just posting reactively. We must be proactive. So the next one was relevant content. So relevant content, what I mean, you can do anything to do with your audiences. But that's what I mean by relevant. It could be trending topics you can use, anything other than your business that audiences would like to hear. For example, for me, my agency, we don't do websites. We only provide certain services like SEO services, Google My Business, and everything else for our social media clients. However, like, just because we don't do website, I know a lot of people like to know what's new to do with website, what to look for, cybersecurity. What is it that they need? Maybe money saving, management saving, if there's something that comes up. If there's any grant, for example, for small businesses come up, then we share this. It doesn't have to be necessarily just about your products or services. It's not a pitching platform either. It's not just about selling. So what I mean by relevant content is anything that you think they will be interested in. And there's other things that you can provide, information you can provide that your audience will love to hear. Because you got to remember, they're like us, right? Depending on who your audience is, there's so many other things that they will be interested in, which could relate into with your industry. So again, let's talk about Facebook Live. And Linda mentioned that Facebook Lives, they get 10 times more interaction. So, and I have to tell you, it is a best thing for you. I actually think they gave us a best thing, because they want you to do live videos, Facebook or Instagram. The interaction is higher. When you're starting out, I can guarantee no one turns up, because our algorithm has to learn. If you consistently, at the same time you go live, or you do a lot of live, that's when the algorithm sends a notification. Guess what? Neda is live at the moment. She's live again. So it keeps building up. And I love it that a lot of people, I've got a lot of people who are not nervous, I don't want to be in it. You don't have to be in it. You could just film your work area behind the scene, and you can just talk if you're not comfortable. Start somewhere, but your engagement is 10 times more. It drives engagement, and people are very forgiving when it comes to live videos, because they know it's live, they know it's happening, and they're very interactive. So if you get comfortable with it, because it's really, really good. Last one is, I know I said I'm not going to be talking about advertising. However, boosting posts is very important. We know less than 2% of people who follow your page will ever going to see your post. Boosting posts, it doesn't sell, so it's optimized for reach and engagement. Facebook, back in 2018, the reach, they took away the reach. So the reach declined dramatically. To replace that, they gave us a boost button. Again, it's a pay-to-play platform. So they gave us a boost button. So what that boost button does is just increase engagement and reach. That's all it does. When you're boosting a post, no one's going to buy anything from you. It's optimized differently. So if you're boosting a post, hoping for the sale, not all the Facebook ads are created equally. I always consider boosting posts as an organic strategy to increase reach. So what you will do is, if you see a Facebook post generally does really well, use it to boost. How I use it in the business for my client, we use boosting to grab data, to train the algorithm as to who interacts with this business, who is actually engages more with this business. Because when we're advertising in Facebook, it gets better and better and better as we do more. The reason being the AI, the algorithm learns more about who interacts with your business. So when you're starting a Facebook ad today and you don't get any return on your investment, anything, it didn't work. It does work. It works in the background. It collects data, it learns about who interacts, it learns about your business. And when you continue a year later or 6, 9 to a year later, you get better results. And that's how it is, because it learns. It's a machine learning. However, I have to tell you, you've probably seen this. If you're using Facebook, you've probably seen that most of the time Facebook comes and says, oh, guess what? This thing is doing really well, above the average, 85 to 95% above the average. And that's not entirely correct and accurate. Again, it's a pay to play, unfortunately. But I want you to create your own KPI. You decide as to what works, what is it that works, what post worked really well, and that will be your KPI. I'm going to go through later on. I think I'm going to go through what I look for when it comes to organic, when it comes to analytics, what I look for, and that's what I would suggest for you to use as your KPI. And of course, while advertising or boosting may still be the easiest way to expand your reach within Facebook, the good news is that if you really pay attention to what your audience want, if you get to know this human, if you walk a mile in their shoes and know what they need and what they want and how you can make a difference, you got to see them as your best friend, and you provide producing great quality content to meet those needs, then Facebook will reward you with better engagement and reach. Because you got to remember, the Facebook goal and purpose, they didn't become $1 trillion business for not looking after their end users. They want to provide a quality content. They want to create a platform that people come and stay, and that's the whole point. I know there's a lot of engineers in there that do this and do that. I understand all of this, but if you're creating a valuable content for your audience, and as I said, you know your audience well, and you walk a mile in their shoes, and it's more than just as a male or female at this age, you get into their psyche and you know what they need. They will reward you because they want to create an engaging environment for their audiences. Right. So how do you increase your organic reach? Like we talked about, you publish content more frequently, diversify, most relevant content, use Facebook Live, and boost. Okay, let's talk about measuring the success of your content. So this is where you can use your KPI. This is what I look for. I don't look for everything else. There's so much available, but I look for certain things when it comes to realizing what works and what worked and what didn't. And it's so easy to get caught up in the matrix that don't matter. I've seen so many clients business owners come to me with this fancy reports that it actually means nothing. I look for certain things when it comes to organic posts. So you're more than welcome to use this. So what I look for, in the matrix, I look for engagement, reach, impression, followers, and likes. Even if it's vanity metrics, it is still important. And video performance. And the video performance is very important because obviously videos are one of the biggest and one of the most important things. So these are the things what I look for. And this could be your KPI as well. Sometimes when you post something, and for example, you go, okay, engagement is really good, followers, increase the followers, impression is really good, and I definitely think, okay, maybe it's time to boost this. Okay, so what I mean by engagement, obviously, as the name suggests, is one of the most, it's an engagement, it's engaging with your post. and it's one of the most critical. It's one of the most critical metrics in here. So Facebook algorithm uses engagement as a key identifier when choosing which content to show to their users. So the engagement is liking a post, sharing a post, tagging someone in the post, commenting on the post. So these are very, very, very important that it's the highest limit. If any of the posts you do and you get a lot of engagement, a lot of interaction, people tagging each other, tagging their friends, and they're asking you a question, it's a great indication to use that to boost. And even for your advertising, sometimes we use it. So that's one of the metrics I always look for. The next one is the reach. What reach means the number of people who see your content you post to Facebook. It doesn't necessarily mean that they liked it. The moment they stop a post to look at it, there's some people think, oh, I don't want to like something. We all have our reasoning. I don't want to like something just in case. Trust me, as an advertiser, if the reach is high, it means it's really good. So even if they don't like it, but they stopped scrolling and read the post, I know, because that's the reach, and that's a good sign. Still a great sign. So then impression is the number of times someone sees your post, and that's not a bad thing. It's actually, it takes because what happens is Facebook knows how many times I see something before I click to go and land on the Facebook page or even go to their website, because we give those signals to Facebook. Every time we do something, the signals get registered. So impression is very important. It's not going to increase cost. It's not going to piss people off, because we give signals to Facebook how many times. For example, how many times Neda has seen a post before he clicks on something. So it knows what's going on. So since the competition, and impression has been always part of the marketing. The good thing about this is before Facebook or before any of these digital platforms, we have no way of knowing impression. It was just guesswork, I think. But the competition on Facebook is really, really high. And when your audience sees your content multiple times, it can trigger them to take the next step. And that's what impression is. It doesn't necessarily mean one person going to keep seeing the one thing. If I look at something 3 times and then I take an action, it's going to show me in different times, 3 times for me to take an action. And that's absolutely fine. Page likes and followers can be used as a growth indicator. I know there's a lot of argument as to it's not works, it's not important, it's not vanity metrics. I don't care. If a page is gaining followers and gaining likes, provided that you're providing content to a specific audience that you're serving, that is a good indication that people are interested in your business. They want to hear from you. So it is still a good indication. It doesn't bring money yet, those, but it is a good indication to understand there are people who are getting to know your business. They're familiar with your business, they're interacting with your business, they want to hear from you. So they go into, I guess, your top of the funnels process there. Then we come to the video view. So video view is very important. So it's very important for you to look into. Hopefully you're doing videos. So it's very important to look into it. So there are 3 sections. There's a retention, engagement, and clicks. So retention indicates how long your viewers, obviously the name says, how long the viewers been watching your video. So let's say you have a 15 minutes video and your audience only watches, I don't know, 25 seconds of it or 45 seconds of it. That doesn't necessarily mean that the video is not good or the material is not good. Sometimes people take their time when they start talking about starting the video. Let me wait till this person comes up or that person comes up. It just doesn't work. Get to the point. I have to say, when you're doing a video, get to the point straight away, because you do not want to lose them. The moment you lose them, it's so hard to bring them back. So try to start. If you want to go live, try to build up your live and start the conversation. If you are doing a video, make sure there's a hook somewhere that it will get them going. Please don't waste the viewers' time, saying who you are, what you do. Just get to the point, the value that you're going to provide. Next one is an engagement. So what engagement means? Next. Again, so engagement is exactly the same thing. So is your audience commenting? Are they liking? Are they tagging? What's going on? So this is very, again, it's very important. Engagement and retention is very important when it comes to your video. And obviously you got to click. Click meaning if they clicked on anything, if they clicked to play, how many times. If you have a link, did they click on the link? Or if you're on the caption section, if you have a link, did they click on the link? Under the click section in your analytics, there's other clicks as well. So there's another measurement thing that's called other clicks. I can't find the right word for it, but it's actually called other clicks. So what that offers information on how many times someone clicked other element of your post. For example, your page title, your page logo. So that still, or see more, this is still important for us to know. The more interaction is with the video, the better it is. All right, so I have time. Okay, so let's talk about group. So group, Zuckerberg said, we want to help 1 billion people. We want to help 1 billion people join meaningful communities. If we can do this, it will not only reverse the whole decline in community membership we see around the world, but it will also strengthen our social fabrics and bring the world closer together. Guess how they want to bring the world closer together? With their Facebook group. Another business opportunity for Zuckerberg and another great opportunity for us to interact with our end user. So more than 400 people out of the 1 billion, more than 400 million people belong to the Facebook group, and more than 100 million people see groups as the most essential part of their Facebook experience. However, though, so let's get started. How you approach group depend on the type of community you create. So if you're thinking of creating a Facebook group, there could be different goals for it. You've got to remember, we have to have a strategy. We have to have a goal when going creating a Facebook group. Is it going to be product specific? Depends on your business. Is it going to be industry specific? For example, I'm part of this group that is for social media marketers around the world. Is it going to be customer user group? So I have a couple of clients that they have specific group for their users. One particular one is they sell the SaaS business and they sell HR to the medium businesses. So they do have a specific group as a help to the people who already bought their SaaS product. So it could be a networking group. Think about what kind of community will be most helpful to your audience. I have to keep repeating, we have to stay away from the fact these are not pitching platforms. They're not sales platforms. They're social platforms. You can absolutely sell to people. You can absolutely use that to increase your revenue and sale. But you have to have a specific strategy when it comes to your social media marketing. So I want you to create, so when creating Facebook group I want you to focus on creating value. If you are using the group to just, if you're using group to just post about your products or services, it's just not going to work. It never works. People will not be engaged. You need to look at it very, very differently. There's a different strategy when it comes to the groups. So how do you increase engagement in the group? This is very important. One thing that we tested and tried, obviously you said, I think you've seen it. If you have a group, you've seen it, that it is welcoming the new members to your group. You should absolutely do that. The one thing that we tested with clients, and we do this, is we actually, the business owner goes live once a week for about 10 minutes, and it calls out every single person's name and thank them for joining them. Joining their group, shows them around on the video, and it works wonders. People are so excited because you get so excited. This is a group. We want to get involved. Posting polls, surveys, and quizzes, they work really well. Ask questions. us as humans will love to give our opinion, right? So ask questions, create engagement. Facebook Lives, they're great. Use that, utilize it, and engage directly with members. Try to have a conversation with members. Do not leave them hanging. If someone actually interacts and engage, take time to answer their question. Thank them for doing that. One thing that it works really well, that we have a superstar, because in their analytics, you can actually see, in the group's analytics, you can see who's actually engaging really well with your content, and they engage more in the group. So once a month, we do have, depending on your group, like the groups that we have, the clients, some of them, actually most of them, you cannot promote. I'm just trying to think if we have anything that you can promote your business. There's certain days some groups do it, but most of the group, they don't. But what we do is we actually have a star member that once a month they go through the analytics and we find out who was interacting really well. And that one day we get in touch with them and say, we're very excited. Thank you for doing this. So we are going to introduce you and your business, and if you have any special offer. So it works really well. You reward the obviously positivity and engagement. And that gets people to be more engaged with each other, it works really well. So going live and thanking them directly for joining your group, and staff fan, that works really well as well. So measuring the success of your group. So there's 3 things we look for. Again, a great group is a growing group. So that definitely depends. If your group is growing, then it's a good group, means people are engaging and people talking about it. The more engagement happens inside the group, I said that before, the algorithm brings it up in the search engine. If your group doesn't come up in the search engine to do with the keyword phrases that people are looking for or your audience are looking for, then you will not come up. But the great group is always a growing group. We all know that. Again, we identify members that engage with your content when you're most active. So that definitely when you're most active. So this will help when to post. And members details help you identify your brand advocate. This is what we definitely use, the star member. It really works wonders, and people love it. Appreciating, honestly, like not being sleazy or anything. We're talking about with good intention. That's what I always discuss here, with good intention, with integrity and ethically. So there you go. I talked about background strategy, with content. We talked about group, and let's get to the questions. Do we have any questions?
Can you just go back to the last slide, the one before the thank you?
Sure.
I'm trying to take notes. So the reach, I missed that one. No, go back.
One more.
Well, there was a whole list.
This one? No? Was it this one, Linda?
No, keep going.
Back or forward?
No, forward.
Forward. Okay. This one?
Are you halfway through? I mean, it was only like the second last slide.
Second last. So and this is the last slide.
Right. So it's the one where, yeah, that full.
This one is just what we went through. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I'm going to send because this is what the whole topics of this webinar was about, and that's what it is. If you talk about this list, so
right.
That's it. The last one, and the only list, sort of a last list to measure is this one. Oh, am I sharing? Oh yeah. So does anyone have any questions? Did you find out, Linda? Was that the right one? Because I don't know.
Yeah, there was a slide saying increase reach, and I went to write down those points, and then you moved on to measure success and those points. So but I'll listen to the replay.
Okay, hang on. I found it. All right, so now I know. Okay, here. Hang on. So let me share my screen. Did you mean this one? Is this the one?
No, what way before that?
Well, that's
it was a whole page, and then you skipped over and kept going. Don't worry. Don't worry.
the other one. Was that this one? Facebook group goals? Because if it's increased,
no, it's halfway back. It's about halfway through.
Okay, I don't remember where it was, but we'll. I can ask them to send you the copy of this, and then you can have a look at it.
Thank you.
No worries. Do we have any other questions? Oops, I can't see anyone. Do you have any advice on linking Facebook to Instagram posts? Linking, do you mean, Virginia, do you mean like creating a post on Instagram and posting it on Facebook at the same time? I personally like it to look different. The reason that I like it, and we tested and tried it, when we were in Instagram, people are used to seeing hashtags. Facebook only last year opened up the hashtag on Facebook post as well. We are not used to seeing hashtags on Facebook. I've seen people with 20 hashtags in their post, and it gets posted on Facebook as well. It's not a good look. We need to understand the Facebook and Instagram are very different. They set up very different. If you look at your Instagram, it's very different when people look at the Facebook. It's post by post, and there's big chunk of hashtags. One thing I recommend, if you want to use that and you want to save time, decrease the number of hashtags, because in the meta, I think when you're using a business suite, you can. There's a Facebook part and there is an Instagram part. What I would suggest is decrease the number of hashtags and make it more, because we don't talk in hashtags. We we just want to make sure that we act as like humans. We don't want to come salesy that I'm just doing this to make sure I'm putting 30 hashtags in this so I can be found. So we just got to make sure that we understand that there are humans on the other side. We're not used to seeing a lot of hashtags when it comes to Facebook, because the setup is very different. In Instagram, it's like a magazine. So it's like going through pictures of the magazine. Facebook is more, it's like having coffee with a friend. And we don't sit there and just do hashtags. Do hashtags not work the same in Facebook? It does, but I don't recommend anything more than 10 hashtags on Facebook. Because Instagram is search-based. It's more search-based than Facebook. In my experience, it doesn't have to be, because we don't necessarily do that. I was told no more than 3. That's fine. I'll go up to 10. But I always recommend to have space between them so it just doesn't come up. One thing that frustrates the hell out of me, and I don't like it, is when people write their caption with hashtag. That just does not show a person see me as a human. I'm not a machine. Like, our customers are not machines. They're humans like us. So I've seen it I don't like it when people use caption and they put, it's like me talking to you saying, do hashtags, hashtag not, hashtag work, the same with hashtag Facebook. It's just, we don't talk that way. So yeah, 3 is fine. I go maximum 10 on if you want to do that. Any other questions? Getting my hair around and stuff. Okay. So I want you to look at Instagram as your digital magazine. Every post you do, it's a page in your business's digital magazine. It's that glossy magazine that we used to have. So every post is a page in there that represents your business, represents who you are as a brand awareness, what do you stand for, what do you do. So every post represents, it's that page in the glossy magazine. So in order to help you that, if you get to the any place that you're sitting in your waiting room, have a look at the magazines, especially I don't go to the, I guess, obviously the Who magazine, or I don't know what else is there. The fancy magazine, how every page represents something by itself, but it represents the whole magazine itself. So that's what I want you to look at. It's very different. Facebook is like having a catch up with the bestie over a coffee. That's good. It depends on though, because with with Instagram, so now they've got rid of their IGTV, so they're no longer going to have their IGTV. Instagram, I use all of them. Like if there's reel and you're comfortable with reel, you don't have to do the dancing with the reel. You do not have to dance on Instagram or Facebook in order for you to become popular. You do not have to do something that you're not comfortable and it doesn't represent who you are. You have to do what you're comfortable with. But you can use every part of it. I always recommend, so the feed, so what happens is, I still want 3 to 4 times per week on your feed, which are the pictures that you put on. But stories and reels for both Facebook and Instagram are very important. I want you to commit to at least doing 2 stories per day. This because people look at the stories first, and then they go to check out the people's businesses feed. But there is no rules, but anything less than 3 or 4 times a week, it's just not enough for you to be engaged and to be on top of mind. Because they're like us. You know how many times we go and you miss so much. I don't go there for 2 days and I miss so many posts. So you just want to make sure you have a balance, something that you're comfortable. The consistency and quality of content is way more important just randomly posting something. Actually, let's talk about this. So I'm going to send 100 post ideas to everyone here. Let me share my screen quickly. So I'm going to send you this obviously with a slide. Can everyone see the screen? Yes. No?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so there's 100 posts that you I'll send you with the slides. So these 100 posts are here for Business Station based on my experience. It's not specifically for a specific industry, but me and my team, we collated everything that works really well. We came up with 100 inspirational post ideas. I want to go through it. And even out of that 100, you come up with 20 that still you can use. Like I know that sometimes the hardest part is I don't know what to post. That could be you as well. That could be that I don't know what to post. I don't want to post too much. I don't want to keep talking about myself. But these are ideas that's really content for. So I'll send that to you as well. Use it. And that would definitely create an engagement because not everything I would suggest. Only 15 to 25% of your posts should be about pitching and selling. The only time we actually go to 25% and sometimes maybe 30% if we actually advertising. For example, every quarter we have to increase sales, then we go up to 25%. But we will not talk always. We don't use the platform for pitching purposes. Everything we do though, like for example, everything we do, be an expert, even though it's educational, but it's non-salesy. And people are not coming here to be sold at. If they think there's something there remove my themes each day from my group and want to talk more about the problem. Okay. Do you know something, Linda, with the stories, if you're posting something, this is what I do as well with my own business. If you're posting something, we share that as a story as well. So there's your one story. And we that's another story. So definitely you can do that.
How do I post a story? You know how it's only in segments and the video just keeps it, yes, it stops and starts, but the video is continuous across all the story. Is that recorded on my phone and then uploaded to stories?
Yep. So what it does is it just divides it into the segments and it just moves it along. When it comes to Reel have a set amount of time. So it cuts it, I think it's 40 seconds now. I think it's 40 seconds or 60 seconds. It cuts the video. But with stories, it doesn't. It continues. I wouldn't go more than, when it comes to stories, though, Linda, I wouldn't go more than 2 minutes. Because people don't spend a lot of time. We just want to make sure that it's compacted, it's quick, good, to the point. If you want to do long ones, then definitely do live videos. And unfortunately, they're getting rid of the IGTV. So no more IGTV. I don't know if they got rid of it or not, but they were saying they're not going to have it anymore. I have no idea why, but they did it. Let me see. Do they have IGTV? No, it's not there anymore. So it's post, story, reel, and live. That's it. You have live video, which is really good. All right, everyone. So we passed 2 o'clock. Do you have one more question? Then we can just have to be in a meeting in about 5 minutes time.
Good. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks, Linda.
Bye.
Thank everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.